Um, uh, Good morning to our colleagues joining us from Cape Town, Johannesburg, and Lagos. Good afternoon to those joining in from Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Jeddah, and Riyadh. Good evening to those joining us from Singapore, Manila, Jakarta, and Hong Kong. And good evening, Eddie Tritton, joining us from SMU campus in Singapore. In today's post-COVID world, I hope we can call it post-COVID, data and digital technology have shifted the paradigm of every industry. The transformative power of digital and emerging tech has led to great innovation for existing and new businesses. For senior leaders, this presents a unique opportunity for business model and evolution using new age digital tools and processes. EPDL by SMU is a modular program that focuses on the core pillars of leading in the digital era. The 5-month program beginning 9th April is 100% live and interactive with 15 live sessions. The program offers associate alumni status of SMU EXD. To tell you more about the program, we have with us Eddie Tritton, Executive Director at SMU. Eddie has been leading several initiatives at SMU, including the Executive Program and Digital Leadership. Prior to joining SMU, Eddie was leading teams and digital initiatives at Melbourne Business School. Eddie is an alumnus of University of Melbourne and University of Queensland. Over to you, Eddie.
Thanks, John. Hi, everybody. I didn't realise how far the spread of attendees are, but lovely to be with you. And thanks for the opportunity to say a few words today. And look, from behalf of SMU, we are just delighted to be partnering with ExD to design and deliver this exciting new program. So what I want to do today is sort of just take you through some slides. I don't want to spend too much time on all the slides, but just simply give you a bit of a flavour and also take you through some and share some of my personal thoughts on digital transformation and some of the trends that I see that are and will continue to shape the world in which we work and live. So with that, we might get underway. So what I thought I might do is just say a few words about SMU, then a few words about digital leadership, again, my perspective, some context setting around digital transformation, because obviously digital leadership sits in digital transformation and all the various retooling and reskilling that's going to have to happen. Some of the trends that I see in FY22 and beyond that's going to help shape and already shaping our industries, and obviously then goes on to what that means for individuals in those industries. And then obviously more importantly about the program itself, the Executive Program in Digital Leadership, which is again, new initiative. I want to talk a bit about that, highlight about some of the benefits of the program, a bit more about the content, and then leave a bit of time for Q&A. Well, I have received 3 or 4 questions, which I'll touch on towards the end of the presentation. So I guess very quickly, for those who don't know, SMU is a premier university in Singapore with world-class research and distinguished teaching. We're different in a sense that we're very niche and we operate across 6 very clear domains around law, social sciences, economics, accounting, and of course, computing information systems, which is one of our biggest and growing areas. Only established in 2020, but with a very clear mission to design leading edge research that has global impact. And we work a lot with more the creative entrepreneurial leaders and obviously a lot of work in the knowledge-based economy. SMU ExD is a very much commercially focused business that sits outside the 6 schools that reports into the Office of the Provost. We focus more on the developmental of the individual and organisations over the long term. At a core, I suppose, what we like to do is work with clients like John and others to design custom solutions that are actually developed in the context of the organisation and aligns with their particular challenges. And we work a lot with organisations, both private and public and non-for-profit, and generally with people in the areas of managers, directors, high potentials, and executives. And we focus on not just about acquiring new knowledge, but also about the behaviours and the mindset that might accelerate change, both with individuals and in the organisation. So I thought I'd start with just my assessment, I suppose, of what does digital transformation or digital leadership actually mean in this context. To me, it means the strategic use of a company's digital assets to achieve business goals. And digital leaders like yourselves and others will explore how technology can be used to help their business become much more responsive to the needs of the customers in this ever-changing and dynamic, obviously, world we work in, and obviously probably more so The acceleration we've seen in the last 2 years on the back of COVID has probably accelerated areas that we haven't seen or wouldn't have seen for 5 or 10 years in some cases. Next slide was just about, I suppose, in context, because digital leadership doesn't operate in a vacuum. It obviously operates in the broader context of digital transformations, which in essence are extremely complex, but because largely they're connected ecosystems. And so, what's required around digital leadership in the areas of reskilling and retooling of workforces that relate to the amount of digital technology and disruption that particular industry and sector might be experiencing. But it doesn't happen in isolation. So the skills and capabilities that are needed that relate to the type of organizational change that particular organization needs to go through to remain competitive. And I suppose this slide just tries to illustrate that if you're selling online, just one example, if you're selling online, I think the solutions are very mature today. And so the vehicles in which you sell online to get your customers to purchase and pay for those goods is pretty straightforward. But the moment you start looking at other domains around that circumflex, areas of servicing online, engaging online, looking at the supply chain, manufacturing to produce goods just in time, and the logistics around how you might make better decisions and which are better data-driven decisions, how you use robotics to get things done, it obviously complicates the whole process in how you might actually think about digital transformation, and particularly the skills and competencies you might need to be able to execute that transformation in the right sort of way to ensure that both the individuals, but probably more importantly, the organizations, achieve the optimum outcomes they're trying to achieve. Next slide. Again, very quickly, there is some classic, I suppose, roadblocks in the success of digital transformation. And there's 5 key reasons that I've sort of come across and we hear regularly from organizations as to why they don't succeed. And the first one is probably not rocket science, but quite often people are not clear about what the problem actually is. They think about everything else but the actual problem they're trying to solve. And so, and they quite often want to jump into frameworks and models and tools and solutions, rather than trying to understand exactly what are we trying, what solution, think about the solution before the problem. Obviously, number 2, looking at it is a very complex process. There's various interactions, linkages, interfaces that are critical to understand and of course manage, which quite often doesn't happen. Common thing is a lot of organizations treat everything as a tech issue. One of the things to think about is the link and the connectivity initiative across the whole ecosystem. Everyone needs to be on the same page and aligned around the outcome. Otherwise, it's never going to work. And that was one of the questions we received prior to today's workshop or webinar about the whole system and where should we start. And we'll touch on that towards the end. Number 4 about, not desirable, viable, or feasible. This is a big issue because quite often at the end of the day, discipline is needed. There's never a shortage of ideas. It's just a failure and a lack of ideas and a lack of discipline that people don't execute around. And do we always check, or don't we check sometimes around how desirable and viable and feasible the actual criteria might be in which we assess the opportunity of the transformation might be. In desirable, our customers want and are willing to pay for it. From a viability point of view, can we make a profit from it at any stage? And will we continue to make money from it in the future? And feasibility, high probability of having both people and non-people capabilities to make it work. Have we got that in the organization before we even start? And of course, the last one, which we're touching on more today, I guess the general lack of talent to execute the project. And that's quite often, I haven't numbered them 1 to 5, but quite often that's the last thing people look at is that at the end of the day, it's a great idea. And we've got numerous ideas, but have we got the talent in the first place to execute the project at the end of the day to make sure we get the benefits we want from the actual initiative? Next one was just, again, some ideas around how, next slide, sorry. So this is around I want to touch on, I guess, sort of 8 key technology trends that I see and we come across in organizations now that will and are affecting business and industry as we speak, and will continue to actually disrupt businesses as we go along, particularly on the back of the recent pandemic. So the explosion of customer data platforms. Data in the digital age, data is obviously collected everywhere, and that's the easy part. But a customer-driven platform is a single source of customer data that you can use to create more personalized and engaging marketing campaigns to your customers. So I think that's a big trend about actually being more personalized and engaged, and want to receive that sort of special information from the organizations you're trying to work with, that you want to be more personalized rather than just a random email or a random EDM you might receive from anyone that doesn't sort of mean a great deal. The next one, refocusing on cyber. There's a recent Gartner study back in 2020 that looked at and addressed, there's more than 440 million cyber attacks reported in 2020. So it's not going to go away, it's probably going to increase more. Although there's no one solution to security risks, striking a balance between the people and the process and technology is absolutely fundamental and critical. And we'll touch on that later on, but it's one of our key modules we're going to cover off on the program. Next one, multi-cloud technology. Multi-cloud technology refers to the distribution of software and workloads within an organization using one or two private or public clouds. I think it's going to be an increasing platform that companies are going to look at and engage with. Number 4, democratizing AI. This involves the using, obviously AI is everywhere and people are talking about AI all the time. But this involves using AI tools to spot and recognize particularly trends, make decisions, forecast, learn, and improve a decision-making process around the trends we're actually picking up on, and using AI as a key platform to actually execute and deliver that outcome. Now, we've seen this massive explosion in contactless solutions of digital payments particularly over the last 2 years. Now, you walk in a restaurant now and everything's on your table. You can order from your app on the phone and the QR codes. But on the back of COVID-19, there's been a massive rise, obviously, in no-touch solutions as well as contactless dining and digital payments. The move towards contactless solutions and digital payments are going to continue and grow strongly. But what's the infrastructure needed to support this massive growth in this area? Thus, the speed of digital transformation that might be required to support the contactless solution and digital payments process in the organization as it continues to be demanded from consumers in the marketplace, particularly. Automation, again, back to a Gartner study back in 2020, Gartner uses that, says that hyper automation will be a major technology trend in 2022. It defines how technology such as machine learning, robotic process automation, artificial intelligence, and low code are used collectively to actually align the automation processes within the organization and to get, obviously, at the end of the day, products and services better and quicker to the end consumer. Businesses are also looking at turning to cloud-based automation solutions that increase scalability at lower cost of ownership. So that's another trend that's sort of already upon us, but also increasing. We can't get away from, obviously, the new 5G network offers a slew of benefits ranging from increased capacity to deliver new content, services, experience in previously, in some cases, unthinkable ways at lightning speed, which is what we all demand, I suppose, these days. And I think also 5G's got the potential to transform business models and operations by dramatically improving how services are delivered to end users, particularly. It also provides faster speeds, lower latency, and high density than 4G networks. So it's already upon us in certain areas. It's going to increase as we go into 2022 and beyond. And it's going to obviously revolutionize the whole of activities we do already in various products and services we market and distribute. And lastly, it's been on the radar for a long time. Number 8 is data analytics. Nothing new. As we all know, data is the lifeblood of many businesses and almost every business these days. But data is one thing. It also needs to be sorted and processed and analyzed to reach its full potential. Data in isolation is useless. But how do we actually make use of it and make better decisions that we can actually sort it and process it to make better decisions is the critical part. And smart data analytics is obviously looking at how we can extract the value information from the raw data that has been processed as it helps improve our decision-making process and increases our productivity around organizations. So that was sort of some of the 8 points that I thought were really relevant to touch on today, and we'll touch on a few more when we get into the content of the program itself. But there's some of the trends, at least from my perspective, I'm seeing in the marketplace, and we're hearing from our customers that we work with, who are, again, large government organisations and large private enterprises in Singapore, but also across the region. The next slide is really just a quick one to touch on. There's sort of 4 key dimensions that I think are critical for the success in any digital transformation. Again, not rocket science, but people leadership. What are the people, leaders, and culture and structure we actually need to achieve the optimum transformation we're trying to achieve? Obviously, customers, what insights and process we actually need to drive the experience, to differentiate our product or our service. Clearly, the business, have we achieved optimum trade-off between the 4 elements to make those decisions to where we want to play, how we want to win? And of course, the capabilities. What are the specific capabilities we actually need, and how do we secure them in the marketplace to ensure we can actually optimize the business where we're in? Just quickly to the program itself. So this, as we mentioned, and John mentioned at the outset, this is a new innovative program. It does touch on, in a minute, I'll go through the various modules, but it's a very innovative program. It's designed as a 5-module intensive program that will prepare leaders to innovate in new strategies and business models and lead their organisation to thrive in the digital age. The next slide, if you could. Hello.
So Eddie, can you see this slide?
I can see this slide, but I just seem to have frozen, that's all.
Yeah, I think so. We are fine. We are on the slide on the curriculum.
Okay, so you can go next slide. Sorry.
This is a slide on impact.
Yeah, sorry. If you go back then to, sorry, John, to the executive program in digital transformation or digital leadership slide, that's where I'm up to at the moment. Apologies. So my screen's completely frozen. So sorry, everyone. So I'm back to the point where it says why we should consider the program, John. Page 13. Or
this one on the curriculum.
Yeah. I can't see your screen. Sorry, my screen's locked. But it's just got the heading Executive Program in Digital Leadership, and it's got why should you consider this program?
That's right. I'm on that screen.
Okay. So sorry, everyone. Apologies. My end, I'm completely frozen at my end. So 4 key points. I think we've done a really great job to co-create the curriculum, and the program is going to focus on a couple of key areas about learning new skills, tools, and frameworks to lead digital transformation in your organisation. Learn principles about digital business models, rapid innovation, data-driven thinking, and also gain leadership insights and navigate to be able to navigate the new era of technological shifts and disruptive business models. Learn from renowned SMU faculty. We've curated some wonderful faculty across the business school and the computing school to deliver the content, and they're experts in their field. So I think it's we haven't gone short on the actual expertise we've brought to the table. Also, the network of your peer group, which you're going to learn from. I always say you're going to learn as much from the expert in the room as you will from your fellow colleagues in the class. So you're going to have, obviously, you engage with fellow participants across a range of sectors and regions, which also bring their diverse experiences, cultures, and perspectives to the table as well. And lastly, connecting with an associate network. So those who complete the program will receive associate alumni status of SMU EPDL, and I'll touch on some of the benefits of that later on. But before I go on the next slide, I just want to make sure you understand the program also doesn't require any engineering background or specific technical competence to attend the course. And the course has been designed as being very applied and practical and hands-on. We want to make sure that whatever we teach you can actually transfer back into your everyday work and can start to add value back to the organizations you work for straight away. Next slide, John talks about the curriculum.
That's right.
So we've got five key modules, and we've got 15, as John mentioned at the outset, 15 live interactive sessions. Each session's of 2 hours in duration. So module 1 covers digital transformation, and 5 modules around digital strategy, digital product management, digital organization and change management, digital governance and risk management, and digital enterprise architecture. Module 2 is one session, looks at financial technology, digital payments and innovation. Module 3 is 3 sessions, looks at cybersecurity, technology and application, Internet of Things, technology application and business applications and digital technology. Module 4 looks at artificial intelligence, and there's 4 modules: intro to artificial intelligence, algorithm designs and implementation, AI planning and decision making, and applied machine learning. And module 5 is 2 modules, looks at big data, tools and techniques, and data science and for business. So all the points I've covered off before about some of the key trends that we're experiencing and industry is experiencing both now, but obviously in the future, are all covered off in this particular program. So we haven't missed anything at all. And we're going to do a dive into these sessions in a very interactive, engaging way, each of 2 hours in duration. Next slide, John. At the end of the day, what we want to do is make sure that whatever we deliver to you has impact. And so, yes, we want to make sure we build your digital skills and create impact for your career. We also want to make sure that you can take away learnings which are directly applicable and applied straight away into your life, your work, your career, whatever the case might be, that has impact in the learnings you can actually apply. So we don't want to do esoteric learning and simply sit there and lecture at you. It's about being very applied and experiential, that you can actually directly use the learnings in your everyday life. And lastly, the associate alumni status. So upon completion of the program, we do award participants with an associate alumni of ExD, and that grants you access to various newsletters, forums, webinars, networking sessions, seminars, and obviously it's a bunch of discounts you can get access to from ExD and other things we can offer you as well. But this is a bit of a summary about what the associate benefits actually do provide. So I didn't want to dwell too much on the program, except to say, look, it's been curated, it's contemporary, it's been designed for what the business environment needs today. And I would strongly encourage you to pick up the application, apply. It's going to be a wonderful journey, and hopefully see you on the program very shortly. I know we've got a few minutes to go, so just a couple of questions which I received prior was, for large incumbent organisations with well-established hierarchies, should digital change initiatives be driven by digital natives or others? And I think I mentioned that in the outset, that these initiatives need to be driven as a whole ecosystem's got to buy into them. It can't be just driven from the bottom up or just simply bottom or top down. I think we've got to get everyone on the same page to make sure everyone buys into what the commitment actually is for these initiatives and what the payoff's going to be for these initiatives, to make sure it's worth the investment. As I said before, the desirability, viability criteria needs to be assessed before we go into this sort of areas. In terms of digital initiatives, we meet a lot of resistance along the way with our existing teams. We have established trust. I think these things, initiatives around bringing people together to make sure they clearly understand what project we're investing in and why, and what benefits are going to have both individually and collectively to the organisation we're working for. So I think it's just again, back to an ecosystem discussion to make sure everyone's on the same page around why, the hows and the benefits. In relation to the program, I mentioned before, there are no specific technical background requirements to take on the program. It's not a deep dive into very technical issues. It's a deep dive across various functional elements you need to do and need to understand to be able to hopefully execute your roles better and can assist your organisation create more value. There's no prerequisites in terms of technical knowledge, so no, that's I've covered off before to be part of the program. What the depth of each topic? So I think we've only got 2 hours to cover off each of the topics, so we don't do a massive deep dive, but we give enough content, and there's various learning outcomes under each of the 15 headings I mentioned before that will give you enough information that will allow you to, if you want to do more deep dive yourself into those particular topics, you can. It will give you enough information to walk away from the program or from the module having a good understanding of those particular topics that we touched on. And last one was just about the alumni benefits, which I touched on before. So I know it's been a very quick Zoom sort of call. I didn't want to keep you longer than was the half an hour that had been promised. So
we do have questions flowing. We have 100+ participants in various platforms talking to us right now. Maybe and a few of them coming in. Can I just quickly ask, or maybe I can answer some of them. So there is one from Wong Ho Kit. Can you? He's asking us, can you share briefly on the profile of the candidates taking the program? Yes, Wong, yes, we can send that to you. We will send info on the participants who are currently enrolled. We have folks of all over the region, right from Johannesburg, Lagos to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Manila, Singapore, coming in. We will, at the average experience of participants who are coming into this program are 18 years plus. Let us send that to you over a separate call. Then we have one more question on, will there be assignments, quiz, project work individually or as a team? And now this is very interesting because Eddie did mention that each session is 2 hours, but before you come into a session, we don't want you to come in blind into a session. You have to be sufficiently oriented. So there would be a little bit of pre-work and before the session, and there would be some post-work after the session. During the session, there would be a pop quiz for you. We are going to measure whether there was some level of knowledge transfer. Coming back to Blue Fox is asking us, can we get a recorded version of this? Of course, we can get we will send you a link on what Eddie mentioned about the program. Eddie, can I ask you one or two more questions?
Yeah, sure, no worries at all.
Okay, so Thierry Vergness asks us this question. As she's a CFO, do you think that this program would be beneficial for a CFO, and in what ways?
Look, I think this program is applicable for any senior leader in any organisation, to be honest, because CFOs have got a very strong perspective on obviously the financial elements of the business and all the technical elements that are aligned to the CFO's role. But I think this is a much broader program and gives you a much broader perspective on a whole range of things that are going to be affecting the organisation. So I think it's going to allow you to do a bit of a dip into each of these 15 different topics to get an awareness of the various topics that are going to be affecting industry and business that will ultimately have an impact on the CFO role anyway. But I think these topics are fundamentally going to change industry. So the more you can get your head around what that is, what's coming down the pipe, it's going to benefit the organisation tremendously and your role tremendously.
We have a question from Ritesh. Hello, thank you for the presentation. Is there an opportunity to visit the campus during the program? I can answer that. Eddie, do you want to quickly touch upon it?
I didn't quite hear that question. Sorry, my screen's gone completely blank now. Sorry, John.
I'm really sorry about this situation, Eddie. So Ritesh is asking us, is there an opportunity to visit the campus during the course? Let me answer that. Ritesh, good question. This program is 100% live and online. As for this program, we are not looking at any campus visit for now. I'm sure we will be having programs where we will insist that you come and visit the campus. All right. Will there be an assignments? Of course, there would be assignments and post work during the program. All right, there is a last question. There are so many more questions, Eddie, but and we have only a minute to go. Maybe I'll take one last question. Bala Subramanian asked this question. Digital Transformation Initiative Leadership Group. Does this program gives us the starting point from the DT program point of view?
Well, yeah, I mean, from my point of view, this all sits into the digital transformation context. So, I mean, all the elements we spoke about in the program has been designed to align to, I suppose, the various challenges that organisations face when they go through various digital transformations in their organisation. So, things like digital change and change management, digital governance, digital strategy. They're all key elements you've got to understand in the context of any transformation that organisations might go through. So, I mean, like I said, this program aligns exactly with the core 8 trends that I sort of mentioned earlier on.
Yep.
And I think they're aligned exactly to digital transformation and the areas that people need to understand before they start.
Sure. Thanks so much, Eddie. Sumot asks us whether the live sessions will be in the evenings or holidays. Sumot, the sessions are happening alternate Saturdays. So the programs will be running only on weekends. There are 15 live sessions spread over five months. This should be very convenient to you. The program starts at 4:30 p.m. Singapore time. Alok asks us, what is the course fee? Alok, the course fee is USD 3,000. Shilpa asks us, will there be any practical examples? Eddie, this is for you. Will there be any application-oriented examples during the program?
I think, thanks, John. I think the program has been designed as very applied and transferable. So we don't want to focus on just academic content to be sort of teached or taught rather. So yes, the applications will be in the context of the respective organisations. There'll be various examples, there'll be various case studies, there are various topics that people can actually relate to on various organisations that they'll draw reference from that can be directly applied back to their organisation. So yes.
So thanks so much, Eddie. I think so we have hit the time limit. Just a couple of things, folks. One, I know that you have more questions. My colleague Nina, our team, will be in touch with you to answer any questions that you may have. The program starts on 9th April. We have a deadline coming up. So don't wait for the last minute. Apply before the deadline. We will continue to remain in touch. Eddie, thanks so much for taking the time in your busy schedule.
Absolutely, John. Like I said, looking forward to the program. It's been a great initiative between SMU EPDL and ExD, and so we're looking forward to hopefully many people join the program and having a wonderful learning experience. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Eddie. Wishing you a good evening. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for your time.
Bye-bye.